Good morning, I'm Trisha Bear from the Culinary Command Post, and today I'm going to show you how to make cabbage soup. And it's actually called smoked sausage, cabbage, and oat soup because we're also going to add some oats in it, steel cut oats, about a half a cup at the end. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I have a heavy bottom saucepan, and I'm going to mix in my smoked sausage. So I'm using smoked chicken sausage and also smoked cheddar sausage. So I'm going to pour that in my pan with about 1 cup of chopped onions. And then I have some minced garlic, which is about 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. We're going to cook that with the carrots on the stove first for about 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and add our carrots in. And these are frozen carrots that I let put in the refrigerator overnight. We're going to go ahead and put the whole bag in. You're going to mix them up. You're going to put them on the stove on medium heat for about 5 minutes. And this type of smoked sausage, it's already fully cooked. But you can really use any kind of sausage you want. Okay, so we're going to put it on the stove for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to add in the cabbage, which I have a green and purple cabbage that I'm adding. And we're going to cook it for 5 or 10 minutes. But first I need to put this on the stove for 5 minutes. Cook until the onions are clear. Once the onions are clear, then I'm going to add my purple and green cabbage for about 5 or 10 minutes until the cabbage wilts. Then once we add the cabbage that's wilted, then we're going to add 2 cans of these diced tomatoes. One of these cans are Italian style, so you can do Italian style or not. And then we're going to add our chicken broth and our half a cup of creamy ranch dip. It does call for 6 cups of chicken broth, and that's going to be our sauce for the soup. So I've got 1 with 4 cups here, and I just measured 2 more cups there. In the saucepan that's on the stove, make sure you put the oil in first. So it's 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. So I'm just going to drizzle it around and stir it up. Put that in first, let it heat up, and then put in your carrots and your sausage and your onions. Okay. The oil is going to help the onions get softer too, quicker. So. One thing about this cabbage soup recipe is that it adds oats to it. About half a cup of steel cut oats. That's different than the whole oats. This is steel cut oats, and you can find this in Walmart. So once the sausage cooks with the carrots and the onions for about 5 minutes with the oil, we're going to go ahead and add our half a cup of cabbage. We're going to let it cook for about 5 or 10 minutes until it wilts. Now I'm going to add some mesquite seasoning to this, about maybe a tablespoon. been about 5 minutes, so now I'm going to add my cabbage and let it cook for about 5 to 10 minutes, just long enough for it to wilt in the pan. Make sure you get a big enough pan. This is going to be close to being the correct size, but I should have used a way bigger pan than this. So make sure you have a bigger pan than this. Alright, got my cabbage in there. Then all I need to do is add the remaining ingredients with the 6 cups of chicken broth, 2 cans of diced tomatoes, teaspoon of thyme, which smells really good, and I'm going to add just half a teaspoon of sugar, and I'm going to add half a container of this Daisy Cream Ranch dip. And at the end, we're going to just put some fried onions on top. And basically, once you have the cabbage wilted, you want to add the rest of the ingredients and simmer it for about 30 minutes because you're wanting to cook the oats in it. So that's why we're going to put it on medium heat for about 30 minutes with the rest of the ingredients. And you can also add a bay leaf if you want to it, but then you want to take the bay leaf out before you serve. Just gives it an extra flavor. They didn't have any at Walmart, so I didn't have a bay leaf to add. Okay, so the cabbage is getting soft. Alrighty. And you can use chopped carrots if you want. I just got some frozen ones from the freezer section and then put them in the fridge overnight. Just because I wanted the carrots to be smaller and not in chopped size pieces. Now you can hear it cook. Okay, get it deal. Alright, so now we're going to add our other ingredients, which is our half a teaspoon of salt, and make sure you reduce your heat, make sure it's no higher than medium heat, and then we're going to put in our 2 cans of diced tomatoes. This one has Italian style, and you want to keep the juice in the can, so don't drain the juice. And then we're going to put in 6 cups of chicken broth. That's 2. That's 6 total cups of chicken broth. And now we're going to add in our thyme, which is 1 teaspoon, and I chopped up the thyme. It gives it a nice flavor, that thyme does. And then we got our creamy ranch dip. It's a half a container. And you don't have to add this if you don't want to, but I'm just adding it. I like it. It's the best dip I've ever seen at Walmart that's not homemade. It's almost close to being homemade. That. Now we're going to add in our oats, and that's what we're waiting to get this done, is for this to cook. So we'll be cooking this for about 30 minutes. And the pan is just barely big enough, so make sure you use a big pan when you do it. We're going to set our timer for 30 minutes. All right, timer set. Now, you don't want it to overflow, so what I do is I put a wooden spoon. I put a wooden spoon across the pan so it doesn't boil over. Especially this pan, because it's just barely big enough, but you do want to put a wooden spoon across it so it doesn't boil over. And we're just going to let it simmer for 30 minutes, and that's all there is to it, to making our sausage, cabbage, oat soup. Okay, so this is our sausage and chicken and cabbage soup. It's smoked chicken, by the way, and smoked cheddar.
It looks very
sausage
good.
Is what I used.
It looks good.
It's got cabbage in it. And what I like to do is I like to add a little French onions on top. I'm going to sprinkle some on top, but it's pretty much done. It's done cooking. We cooked it for 30 minutes and let it cook on medium heat.
All right.
And now it's ready for service.
All right. Sounds good.
And just make sure you use a bigger pan than this. It stayed in the pan, but just barely, because I had a wooden spoon.
Yeah.
So use a pan bigger than this pan.
All right. Okay. That's how you make it.